taking action for you. This morning on TV 20 Detroit.
What's happening in entertainment? From Tinseltown to the Big Apple, this is your weekly entertainment magazine with Greg Dunmore of PULSEBEAT.tv.
Pulse of a new generation. PULSEBEAT.tv.
From Motown to Movie Town, the Detroit Black Film Festival is yet another example of why Detroit really has a world-class reputation for what it does in the area of cinema. And Albany Road by Detroiter, native Detroiter CHRISTINE SWANSON, is destined, in my opinion, to be a film that is going to go to the very top. So stay tuned as we introduce you to some excitement that is surrounding the Detroit Black Film Fest.
$20 if you can lose that check. Paula, wait!
If we lose this one, I can't afford you anymore.
Me? Back in the room? Come on.
Rumor has it my job is writing on you landing this account, so good luck, Celeste.
Oh, no!
Oh, what's wrong?
Don't let her see me. I am riding in this car! Fine. Then assume your role as my driver.
Lynn Whitfield and Renee Goldsberry. It doesn't get any better than what you brought to the table.
I think so. I think it's a unique combination of very talented women that we've never ever seen before on camera. So I'm very excited about that because I think Lynn Whitfield gives a performance of a lifetime. It's arguably one of her best. And opposite Renee, those two are so electric. They're fun. They'll make you laugh. They'll make you cry. And it's a special movie that I made for my people, but it just so happens that everyone loves this movie because it's very universal with a lot of heart and grit. So I can't wait for the world to see it. And it's so special to me because it's a movie that I wrote, directed, and produced alongside my husband, Michael Swanson. And we 100% self-financed it ourselves. So this is a movie that's made for us, by us, but that's made for the world to see.
We come face to face with what we fear the most, or what we want the most, and sometimes you win.
Do you really know how awesome you are from what you did with the Clark Sisters film? To Mickey Howard's movie, and I have talked to Mickey about the greatness. I know Ava DuVernay is getting a lot of attention, and this is not to downplay her importance, but on the top of the list, CHRISTINE SWANSON, do you look in the mirror and say, I'm great?
Not really, but coming from Detroit, I look at the mirror and I say, look what God has allowed me to do. He allowed me to have a dream. He allowed me to get an education. He allowed me to meet some wonderful people, including my husband, who's supportive of the dream. And he allowed me to see projects from start to finish. And I think there are great storytellers around, and there are a variety of stories to tell and see. I just love telling stories about us, particularly Black women, with a focus on our heart and our sensitivity in a way that Hollywood just does not give us the space to show. So it's going to come out on November 15th, primarily in AMC theaters. So look for an AMC theater near you and go show up. Join the AMC monthly program where you can buy a pass for $23 a month, and every week you can go online and pick Albany Road to see. So that's one way to support the film. But here's the thing. My husband and I 100% finance this. There is no stress about box office, what have you, because that's no longer the point. That's no longer the point, because we have had films that generate numbers in box office, and yet as Black women, we don't feel seen. So what is the point of that? When you have great numbers and you have poverty of thought in terms of characters and storytelling. So what we have done is self-finance, self-distribute, and we have some of the best talent in the industry. So we're creating a lane for ourselves that we were forced to create because Hollywood wouldn't. And at the same time, I work in the industry, my husband works in the industry. I think there is a collective effort from everyone on our side and your side where we want to see great stories. Let's get back to that. We want to see great stories. As the great Lynn Whitfield said, we don't do mediocrity because our work is our activism. Our work is our activism. So when we show up in our excellence, there's no limit to what we can accomplish, as you can tell by the stories that I've been able to tell with not huge budgets. Clark Sisters, we didn't have a huge budget, but it punctured the zeitgeist in the moment that it came out, and it touched people in an indelible way, and it became an instant classic. Okay, so we can do that with not big budgets per se. But even if we had big budgets, the point is tell stories that connect with people in an indelible way that actually deposit something that's positive and affirming.
That's how it's done.
So stay tuned as we introduce you to some excitement that is surrounding the Detroit Black Film Fest.
PulseBeat.
Because I live in Detroit, I was able to get tuition-free college through the Detroit Promise. I feel very fortunate working with the Detroit Promise. They were able to afford me so many opportunities. I'm currently studying media production and journalism at University of Michigan Dearborn. I'm looking to take my talents further into the production industry, short films. I love working with people here, and this is where I want to be. And that's why I'm Detroit for life.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solution Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. So call us right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. U.S. Med. Better service. Better care.
What's happening in entertainment with Greg Dunmore of PulseBeat.tv.
Movies. Detroit is Motown, but I wanted to be Movie Town as well. So let us know how the Detroit Black Film Festival ties into the vision of Detroit, Motown, and Movie Town.
Well, it's funny that you say movie town because recently Detroit has been coined the term Tubi Town because there are a lot of Tubi producers that are making films in the city of Detroit. So I'm here because I want to bring awareness to everybody, the filmmakers in the city, as well as outside of the city, to come to Detroit, to come to our office, because our office is where we do film permitting. So we have a wealth of knowledge, resources. We're a liaison between other city entities when it comes to filming. So we just want to bring awareness that we're here to help, we're here to serve, and whatever your film needs are, we can help with that.
Now we've got London, New York, we've got Los Angeles, but no city does it better than what city?
Detroit, baby. The Detroit Black Film Festival is an ultimate experience in film culture, and it's not only the Detroit Black Film Festival. We have the Detroit Black Films Festival as well as the Taste of Black Spirits National Conference. So we have people coming from around the world to experience film, culture, and a little taste of a worldwide experience of Black-owned spirit brands.
The Black experience in Detroit is to be enjoyed by the world, no matter who you are.
One of the reasons our Creativity Takes Courage campaign is so important is because we want people to know that Detroit is about the business of entertainment and art, fine and performing arts, and everything that we've done for over a century, music, theater, dance, has been about the enjoyment of all types of people and understanding that no matter who is performing, everyone can enjoy it. So if you have a Detroit Black Film Festival, it is not a film festival for Black people. It's lifting up the talent of Black people for everyone to see and enjoy. So I'm so thrilled to support the Detroit Black Film Festival, but also want people to know that if we want to continue the excellence that has been Detroit's for so long, then we have to have the courage to support it, and that means to fund it, and that means to make sure that people who want to do these things can continue to do them.
And the importance of the Ford Foundation, because they've been really angels
Let me just say that the Office of Arts, Culture, and Entrepreneurship, which I run, would not exist without the Kresge and Ford Foundations. Kresge funded the office before it had a name, and Ford has helped us exist for the past 4 years. The Ford Foundation has been more than an angel. It has been our salvation. It has been our rock on which we stand. So we want to always lift up the Kresge and Ford Foundations for what they do. We're also proud to get some help from Hudson Weber now, which has afforded a branding and communications person. What people don't understand is the Office of Arts, Culture, and Entrepreneurship is small. There are only 2 city employees, but I find all kinds of people to help. You know, I had a mayoral fellow to be an intern, and I kept her. I had somebody else who could come and, you know, stay for a little bit. I hold on to people and I don't let them go. But, you know, for the level of literal excellence and talent that we have in this city, we ought to have an office that's huge. We ought to have money that's just running over. So when it's time for us to do great things like the film that CHRISTINE SWANSON talked about, we can say, oh yeah, let's do that. So that's what I'd like us to get to.
So that's what I have always endeavored to do, and I think I've been blessed to have shots at it with all the different stories that I directed. And Albany Road is next on that list of great storytelling with great acting, and it's going to be a new classic, as said by other people, in terms of the way that they feel. Because in this moment and in this time, I have a Tony winner and I have an Emmy winner going toe-to-toe in a movie that I wrote and directed.
And a Grammy winner, too.
And Renee has won a Grammy as well.
I am not moving until you put on a seatbelt.
You know, and being from Detroit, a product of Detroit, you know, owing everything to Detroit, just the beauty of the fact that I could have been in a musical on Broadway that would give me even greater access to come home is amazing. I came home to be in the Detroit, to perform at the Detroit Symphony. I'm here at the Detroit Black Film Festival. I really just credit some really awesome opportunities, one of them being Hamilton for this.
Wow, and you know, I'm going to take it from a slightly different angle because we always talk about the trials and tribulations of being black and then being an artist. When one is black and you come from an advantaged situation, I think of 3 of the most accomplished actress from the city of Detroit would be David Allen Greer, whose father was Dr. Greer, the psychiatrist, Brandon T. Jackson, that grew up in the biggest mansion in the city of Detroit. His father is a bishop. And then, of course, we have you also that came from a very advantaged situation, and your father, Mr. Goldsberry, was a pioneer, a history-making executive in the automobile industry. So coming from an advantaged background, can you say something just to remind the world that we can be humble, but we can also be from backgrounds that mean that we didn't struggle as much as those might assume we did because of the profiling of if you're black, you had to have come from a impoverished background?
Yeah, well, yes, I'm the daughter of Dr. Ronald Goldsberry. And I always say he was the star. He was the real star and will forever be the real star in my family. And so I did. I grew up with every advantage just because I'm from Detroit and also because of the access we had, because he loves the city so much and because he took me everywhere. And in a time when I could put on beaded gowns with big shoulder pads and go to the you know, the auto show, but the opening night of the auto show, you know, just the kind of access I had to the culture and to life here and around the world is because of him. But to think that there is a difference between the black experience because we come from a generation that's a little further removed from struggle would be to miss so much of and so many facets of who we are. I don't know that being a few generations removed alienates you from the history that we have, that we flourish because of and in spite of, right? So yeah, I am not the first generation in my family to go to college and have certain opportunity, but because I come from that hard-fought battle, there's an appreciation I have for it. And I also had access to the greatest education in this country here in Detroit. I also had access to seeing everything I wanted to see, hearing everyone I wanted to hear, learning from so many greats. And what does that make? I think it makes jazz. If you know the history of jazz, you know that it really is born. We give credit to this population in New Orleans that had the opportunity to take music classes and learn classical music, but also had access and appreciation for the music in church and the music on the street and blues. And what they created was something that we think is very Black, and we are very proud of, and it's called jazz. And so we know what history it comes from, and we embrace it, and we also recognize that there was a different relationship to struggle.
We'll be right back with the impressive Renee Goldsberry, whose career is as spectacular as she is.
What's happening in entertainment with Greg Dunmore of PulseBeat.tv.
If you like what we're doing, please tell a friend, or if you want to see what we've done again, go to PulseBeatGlobal.com. That's PulseBeatGlobal.com, or the YouTube channel PulseBeat TV. Thanks for telling the world about us.
Wage garnishments.
Every day we hear stories like this about good folks who are simply struggling to pay their bills. Each of them are living a frightening IRS tax nightmare, and they are afraid it will destroy their lives. If you're struggling with your own tax nightmare, we've got great news. The Tax Relief Line is here to help you. Now, you have a knowledgeable, professional team of tax experts that are ready to negotiate with the IRS and fight for you to save you money. The Tax Relief Line's professionals have successfully negotiated thousands of cases, reducing and sometimes even eliminating the tax debt for their clients. It's very easy to get started. Simply call the number on your screen right now. You don't have to live in fear anymore. The call and the consultation are free.
Don't call a plumber, don't call an electrician. Call right now and for as low as $1 a day. Many things that run your house are covered with thousands of technicians all over America. You can call us with a plumbing problem, an electrical problem, and we'll be in your home in no time at all with a solution to fix it. You don't need an expensive repair bill, and you don't need to buy new expensive appliances. We'll show you how to fix it for about $1 a day.
PulseBeat.
Forget yourself. You're like me. I'm never satisfied. Is that right? I've never been satisfied.
Well, you know what Broadway is? Broadway is just one of the places where people that are storytellers, people that are singers and dancers and actors, people that have a ministry that they're using the arts to pull off, that is one of the stages we go to. I am not surprised anytime I am anywhere where people are, turning into titans of an industry and they tell me they're from Detroit. So I am not surprised that we are all over Broadway, because you know what? The theater in Detroit, to me, the theater that's produced regionally in Detroit has the same pedigree as Broadway has, to me. That's how good the theater is right here.
And my last question, the EGOT, you're very close. You have a Grammy and you have a Tony, and I am praying that Albany Road is going to give you the Academy Award. And then, of course, we have to go for the other, what is it?
The Emmy.
And then the Emmy.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you say something about Albany Road and why it's a must-see movie? And I want you to just know that you're going to hear it here. And the Academy Award goes to, and you're going to hear those words.
Well, you know what? I'm not the only star of Albany Road. We also have the amazing Lynn Whitfield in Albany Road. We have Jay Alphonse. We have such a wide, we go deep in terms of the talent, and not only the talent, but the roles that allow actors to shine in Albany Road. So now the Academy Award goes to, the Oscar goes to, you know how many names could come after that from this movie? A lot, thanks to our writer and director CHRISTINE SWANSON. It's a dramedy, so there is comedy, but hold on, bring your tissues, because there is also, just like all of our experiences, there is also the pathos, there is also the pain in it, and guess what? The actors in the movie come with it. So maybe your lips to God's ears, just maybe, we would have the great honor of being recognized by the Academy.
And Albany Road is next on that list of great storytelling with great acting, and it's going to be a new classic, as said by other people, in terms of the way that they feel. So I can't complain about anything else or anybody else, because in this moment and in this time, I have a Tony winner and I have an Emmy winner going toe-to-toe in a movie that I wrote and directed.
And a Grammy winner, too.
And Renee has won a Grammy as well. And I predict there are more awards in the future for the great Lynn Whitfield.
But you know what? The biggest award is coming from God above, because, as I often say, I cannot say in certain cases the best is yet to come, because you're already the best. So may the best continue for the awe-inspiring CHRISTINE SWANSON.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
And thank you. In covering arts, entertainment, and culture, ever so often something really exceptional happens, and this is the case with CHRISTINE SWANSON, a native Detroiter that I had a chance to meet more than 25 years ago. And when I first met her, I knew that she had that it factor. And you put an H in front of it, it's the hit factor. In her upcoming Albany Road, she had the great taste to cast, as I said before, the spectacular, the impressive Renee Goldsberry. Also, she has, starring in Albany Road, Alphonse Nicholson, who I predict very big things for him. He is the star of P-Valley. And you're going to hear, and the Oscar goes to, who I consider to be, as Aretha is so sensational and untouched in music, CHRISTINE SWANSON also has the distinction of being untouched and unmatched in her filmmaking greatness.
You sound like you have completely flown over the cuckoo's nest. I am not going down without a fight. Oh my God!
Wow, Celeste, you sound a little bit stressed.
I hate being powerless! You are not!
Where are you?
I am on my way.
PULSEBEAT.
Neighborhood beautification. That's very important to Detroit. It's very important to block clubs, organizations, and people who live in the community. We got started with 2 lots and a vision of a treehouse center. Because if we can take these blighted lots, Detroit give us grants to be able to do something with them that the community wants, it's a plus, because we're bringing our neighborhoods back to where we want them to be, where they should be. All because I live in Detroit.
Addiction is an epidemic. Millions are struggling and over 100 lives are lost each day. Are you next? At Better Addiction Care, we understand the devastating impact of drug and alcohol addiction. Our network of treatment centers are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's time to fix the pieces addiction has destroyed. Our network of treatment centers offer detox, therapy, counseling, private luxurious centers, physical fitness, chef-prepared meals, aftercare, and your insurance may cover up to 100% of costs. Only you can put an end to your addiction. It's time to make the life-changing call and get the help you need. Call now, and in just minutes, you could be on your way to a drug and alcohol-free life. The call is free and confidential, and there is no obligation. Visit betteraddictioncare.com or call
855-246-6872. That's 855-246-6872.
You ready to put your podcast on iHeartRadio? Yes, your podcast on iHeartRadio. What about Alexa, Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, Android, or iPhone? Plus live TV streaming. Get your podcast seen and heard all over the world. Call 313-868-6612. Pre-recorded shows are accepted to be archived. This is a WHPR distribution platform. Download the app from the App Store. Go to WHPRTV.com. Channels available for lease 24/7 on Roku, Fire Stick, or Apple TV. Coming soon, subscription and pay-per-view.
Also,
Block time is available. Get yours. Call 313-868-6612. That's 313-868-6612. Executive producer R.J. Watkins. Program director Henry Tyler. 107.5 FM WGPR HD2. RadioWeCanSee.com.
PULSEBEAT.
I'm getting the spirit in the dark.
Vocalist Cissy Houston has passed, and she is now smiling from heaven above. Noted for many reasons, Miss Cissy Houston had a lot to celebrate. She had an impressive singing career in pop and gospel music. Her daughter, Whitney, was a megastar, and her niece, Dionne Warwick, is an icon. And counted among her closest friends would have been Aretha Franklin, who she hit that unforgettable high note in the Queen of Soul's classic recording, Ain't No Way. As the founder of the famed background upfront girl group, The Sweet Inspirations, she made her songbird mark for many legendary artists. On a personal note, throughout the years, our paths often crossed. I always found Miss Houston to be a down-to-earth, God-centered woman who handled faith, friendship, fame, family, and friendship with graciousness and seriousness. That Gladys Knight's classic Midnight Train to Georgia was first recorded by Whitney Houston's mother, Cissy Houston, who originally named or renamed it from Midnight Plane to Houston to Midnight Train to Georgia. Now, who knew that?
Midnight Plane to Georgia. To Houston, that's what it was, right? I said, no way if you're going to be that. So I changed the name to Midnight Train to Georgia. And along comes Gladys, right? And took it over.
Well, my name is Gregory. You made that name change a hit, so can you change my name so I can become a hit too?
Leaving on that midnight train to Georgia. Leaving on the midnight train.
Who knew that, as the biblical saying goes, to whom much is given, much will be required. Cissy Houston lived her life with the wisdom to know it means we are held responsible for what we have. She knew she was blessed and highly favored with talents, wealth, knowledge, time, and love. Therefore, it was expected that her gifts benefit others. And it is for that reason she was a blessing to all who knew her and were touched by her incredible life on this earthly journey.
He kept dreaming that someday he'd be a star. But he found out the hard